What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I am Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show is how to be happy during the holidays. Are you happy during holidays? Or do you find the holidays painful, depressing? Whatever your mood, it's often influenced by your point of view, the way you look at life. Let's see if we can create some joy and ease for you during this season, during those holidays. And me being a medical doctor who became Access Consciousness Facilitator, Akashic Record teacher, and founder of a school, Akashic Records, also 3-day body facility. I mean, I have a lot of hats, and including published author and podcast host, was always searching for tools to create my life, to change things that don't work, to create more happiness, more joy. And now, after so many years of searching, I facilitate people around the world for their better health, better money, relationship. I do private sessions, I do classes around the world, live, online, using the tools of Access Consciousness and doing Akashic Records classes. So if you would like to find out more, go to my website, creatingabundancewithease.com, or just find out more on Linktree, Linktree/ Dr. Helen Gitlevich. And our topic. So holidays. We just finished Hanukkah. Christmas is coming, New Year is coming. And look at you. Where are you right now? Just for a second. Assess, are you cringing when you think about holidays? Are you going to celebrate it with the family, with friends? Are you cringing about that, or are you happy about that? All of it is just a point of view, and your point of view away from having ease, joy, and happiness, and creating the holidays that you actually desire and love. So let's start looking. I'll be using probably some of the tools that you already heard of if you've been listening to my podcasts. If you've been in Access Consciousness for a while, or if you've been in my classes for Akashic Records. Either way, let's start with the tool, who does it belong to? Simple tool. If you're new to my podcast, what it means is that we're psychics, all of us. And we're all infinite beings. So everything in the ether, kind of, we're aware. We pick up every thought, feeling, and emotion around us, sometimes maybe just a few miles or kilometers away, or sometimes hundreds of miles away, especially if it's somebody that we love, somebody that we're close with, somebody we've been close with in the past, that we had connections. And how many people do we have connections with? I'm not just talking about this lifetime. I'm talking about multiple lifetimes. So you're not even aware how many souls, how many beings around the world you're connected to through lifetimes of experience. Because let's face it, we live pretty much from the beginning of time till the end of time, or maybe even beyond that, because the soul never dies. We travel with certain people throughout different lifetimes. If you didn't know that, if it's new information, cool. It's called soul families, where and this is part of Akashic Records work, where you can see how you relate to certain people in your life. Let's say your spouse. You look in the records, and in the past life, it's been maybe your child, or 5,000 years ago, might have been your jailer. And sometimes you might see that a stranger that you saw maybe a couple of times in your life being your mother. Ew. And somebody who, especially somebody you don't like, that might be somebody who killed you in the past life, or you killed them and now feel guilty. And during the holidays, a lot of times we see many more people than we actually care for. How many of you go shopping? Well, now we have online shopping, but I still prefer to go to the mall and pick the gifts for the holidays, to touch it, to kind of like be, and you be with people in the mall, sometimes hundreds, maybe depending on the mall, it might be thousands. Imagine everybody that you actually come in contact, that's somebody from your past lives. And a lot of their points of view are transferred to you either through other lifetimes or this lifetime, and you're influenced by that. So if you see them, all those points of view come flooding into your mind or into your energetic field. And a lot of times it's not cognitive even. A lot of times you just feel yucky. You might feel scared. You might feel depressed, and you have no clue why, especially if everything in your life is wonderful. And then suddenly you contract. You might pick up another person's thoughts, feelings, and emotions based on that. We all like, so just ask, who does this belong to? That's the Access Consciousness tool that was created by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Hare. So see if you feel lighter right now. Because I'm pretty sure, I know I pick up a lot of things through the holidays, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do the same. Whenever we feel light, it's what's true. Any heaviness is a lie. Any contraction is a lie, especially if it's not ours. But if it's not ours, a lot of times we feel that more intense than even if it's ours. So let's play with that. So whatever like yucky or feeling that you have, just ask, who does this belong to? And once more, who does this belong to? And let's send it back. Whew. A little bit lighter. Scan your body. Is there any pain, any discomfort, any unusual sensation in the body that you might not like? Okay, let's ask that question. Who does this belong to? Once more. Who does this belong to? And once more. Who does this belong to? Whew. Wow. And let's return it back. I feel much lighter. How about you? Now let's look at our thoughts. If, like for me right now, there is a lot of thoughts in my head floating. So if you have the same kind of like thoughts of, oh, I need to do my laundry, I need to do this, I need to do that, what's going to be about holidays, I don't like someone, I hate someone, I love someone, why is he not calling? All of those thoughts or more, or whatever thoughts in your head, just ask, who does this belong to? And once more, who does this belong to? And once more, who does this belong to? A little lighter, a little less crowded in your head, at least in mine. That's how you can separate your thoughts, feelings, and emotion from somebody else's. There is an amazing app on the iPhone, on Android, Google phone, on all the phones. And guess what? It's called Access Consciousness. Who does it belong to? It's totally free. And it reminds you to ask that question and to send it back. And by the way, for you out there who are afraid to send it back because it might hurt, and if you're just listening, not watching me, I'm doing air quotes, being sarcastic, it won't hurt them. First of all, it's their thoughts, feelings, and emotions, or sensation in the body. They've created it. For some reason, they're learning from that. If you're taking it away, they cannot do anything with that. Just like you cannot do anything with that. You cannot help them, even if it's somebody close to you. It's just like having the computer, like the one that I have now, being locked with a password, and you're just carrying it around and cannot open it. Because believe me, no matter how much you try, you will not guess their password. Even if you guess their password, all the programming that's there, it's theirs. They wrote it in their own cipher, meaning it's in the code. You cannot do anything with that either. So how many computers are you holding on so tightly? Like really, like all those thoughts, feelings, and emotion. Would you be willing to let them go and give it to the owner, somebody who sent it to you, maybe with consciousness attached, maybe with love, with good wishes for them to clear whatever they need to clear, or to choose what they choose? Thank you. And again, who does this belong to? And it's time for our first break of the show. When we return, we'll talk more about how to be around the holidays, how to be around people. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. We will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I am Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is how to be happy during the holidays. Before we went on a break, we were talking about the tool of who does this belong to? And that's access consciousness. Right now, I would like to talk about one of the greatest tools, at least for me, throughout the holidays is from Akashic Records, is forgiveness prayer. And what is forgiveness? Because a lot of times we think of forgive and forget, and people say, oh, just forgive him. Oh, forgive her. Does it work? Not really. Because in reality, if we have points of view about what was done, if we feel hurt, and a lot of times, as we kind of talked about in the first part, might not be even ours, might be all the people around us who decided that we are hurt, and we picked it up and we decided that we were hurt. Or when we hurt somebody else and we feel guilty, we've been told that we've wronged them. So what if there is no right and wrong? What if when we don't forgive, it's actually like somebody told me, and I'm not sure whose quote was that. It's like taking a poison ourselves and thinking that the other person will die. Will that work? No. We're poisoning ourselves with not forgiving. And yet, forgiveness is not about the Christian concept of you put the other cheek so they can hurt you again. No. Forgiveness is pretty much you let go of the energy of what was done, but it doesn't mean you'll allow it again. If you don't forgive, it's actually the opposite, which is interesting. In access consciousness, there is a tool, everything is opposite to what it appears to be, nothing is opposite to what it appears to be. And because if we don't forgive, and let's say we left somebody who was abusive and we didn't forgive them, we pick up another person who will be as abusive, if not more. So we repeat the cycle again. By avoiding something, we're actually creating it. So when we let go of our hurts, we let go of the guilt, it creates a different reality where you actually can see and choose what's in front of you. Unless you let go of that, unless you forgive, but not actually like you clear whatever needs to be clear, you cannot choose for you. So the forgiveness prayer, and you will find that on my website, on Facebook, in my Facebook business page, Creating Abundance with Ease. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere on my personal page. And there is also a group, Basics of Akashic Records, where it's, I think, pinned to the top. So it's actually about allowing the forgiveness to clear you. I'm going to read it, and if you can follow, if you ever done that before, you can just follow with me. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, and heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. How are you feeling right now? Because a lot of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions stems from that place where we didn't forgive somebody. All that anger, shame, blame, regret, all those programming that we allowed ourselves to be programmed with, or we programmed ourselves just by choosing not to forgive. Because we decided if we forgive, then we allow them to do it again. No, the opposite is true. If we actually forgive, then we have a choice. Maybe we'll leave that person. Maybe we will choose another person. Maybe we will stay with the person, but the person will no longer, we will not be the effect of that person, which is interesting. A lot of us are playing the roles. Remember, I started, like in the first part, we were talking a little bit about past lives, how we travel with the same people. They've been with us throughout centuries, thousands of years. And it's very expensive, by the way, circle of friends, again, air quotes. A lot of times we play the same scenario, the same play, like you would say in a theater, same roles, until the season is over, right? Like the play, and then the play returns again 3 years down the road. And then same actors, different actors, but they play the same roles. What if, because we didn't forgive, we choose to play that role, let's say a role of victim, and people play the roles of somebody who abuses us because we're choosing that role. The leading lady might be a victim, and then the leading man is the abuser. It doesn't matter who is the leading man is or the actor playing it. The play revolves around abuse. So if the main character loses that point of view of being a victim, and forgives everything, let go of all the hurt, and chooses to step out, guess what? The same actor wouldn't be able to play that role because the play is over. The same actor, maybe the same person in your life, will stop acting like he did before. Maybe the abuse will stop. I'm not saying that will happen, but a lot of times that's what I observed with people who chose to actually play with the tool. I know there was a story time. I was dating someone. I didn't have the tools. I had the tool of forgiveness, but and I'll tell you in a second how it played out. So his idea was that women are bitches, and he was always treated bad. I like to be equal with a partner and choose together cognitively, consciously. Within 2 weeks of dating this guy, or maybe a little bit more, I think at 2 weeks it started, probably noticed about a month into the relationship or 2 months into the relationship, I found myself being a bitch. Didn't realize I could be a bitch up till that moment, but I was so mean to him, and I didn't like me when I was around him because I couldn't stop being mean. And I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? And I've been doing Akashic Record work for over 24 years, 24 and a half, a little bit over, so almost 25. In 4 months will be exactly a quarter of a century that I've been doing Akashic Records. With that, I chose to use forgiveness. I stopped doing that, but I could sense the pull because he has not chosen that. I had to break the relationship because I didn't like me with him, but I started being aware of the dynamic of the relationship. So it's time for our second break of the show, but before we go on the break, I would like to read forgiveness prayer again. And think in that moment, think about somebody that you couldn't forgive. It was somebody who did something so unforgivable that you're still holding on to that anger, or you did something to somebody so unforgivable that you still cringe when you're thinking about that person. And while thinking about it, I'm going to read the forgiveness prayer. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, and heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. And it's time for our break. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. We will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, You'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is how to be happy during the holidays. You watch a lot of movies right now. Like I binged on Netflix yesterday. Seriously. I like sometimes doing that. I love movies. I love books. I love reading. And I know before we went on the break, we were talking about the forgiveness. We were talking about who does it belong to in the first part. But right now, I would like to talk about magic of the holidays. Because most of the movies that you will be watching are about magic of the holidays. The Santa Claus, like with Christmas, and Miracle of Lights with Hanukkah. And we talk about magic last episode, I believe, where we touched upon that we are all magical. All of us, even if you don't believe in magic right now, as kids, you were magical. Anything you desire, you would create. You wanted new toys, you wanted this, you wanted that. A lot of times, maybe not what you desired, but you still created. And everything was a wonder. You looked around you, and in Access Consciousness, Dr. Dane lately has been asking, when did you stop being magical? When did you quit your magic or limit your magic or stopped your magic? At what age? And for a lot of people, it was 2, 3, 4. For some, it turned out to be even before they were born. They stopped their magic because something happened in their families. When we're kids, a lot of times we take on, and that comes hand in hand with forgiveness. we take on the guilt and the shame and the blame of the adults, and we think it's our fault. It might be we broke a glass and somebody yelled at us, and somebody had a heart attack, and we decided because we broke the glass, they had a heart attack. And it's not logical and it's not verbal, and you might not be even aware of the chain of events that created that. What I would like you to do right now is ask yourself and see if you can remember, or if just energetically you can connect to that moment of time when you stopped yourself from creating magic, and wherever that was, that created that lack of magic. And oops, I think I just exited out of it. And something that you've decided is so unforgivable that you cannot use magic ever again. And let's use forgiveness again. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. And just ask for your magic to come and be free. What if you can create magic just by asking? And what if during these holidays, you can create more joy, more ease, just by asking? So look at the holidays right now. No matter what you're doing during the holidays, how do you feel about them? It is a little lighter feeling than when we started this program. If you're just joining us, in the first couple of parts, we explored a lot of tools, or a couple of tools. One of the access consciousness, who does it belong to, and forgiveness prayer that we're using right now to clear all those things that prevents us from enjoying the holidays or enjoying non-holidays, like every day. What if we can make every day as a holiday? And if you think about holiday, it's a holy day, meaning that it's something that is holy, making us whole. And sanctifying ourselves, sanctifying every day, no matter what your religion is, no matter if you have the holidays now or in the future. All of the holidays are magical, but what if we can, our life, create as magical and be the magic that we are? Because we are magical. We are that spark of divine that every single one of us is. Remember the Big Bang Theory, when the whole universe exploded? and that light went everywhere. That light is you, my friend. Each one of you, and each one of your friends, each one of your relatives, each one of people around the world, even the evil people, even bad people that we decided is bad, it's just a judgment. They're just playing a role this lifetime. They're playing the roles of villains. Does it mean their soul is bad? No. Their soul is as light, as pure as every one of us and everybody else. Is just shrouded in the darkness of the role that they're playing. It's a costume. Like, let's say your friend that you love dearly decided to become an actor and plays a murderer in a play, and in the play he kills somebody. Do you love them less? No, he's just playing a role to show a story. What if everything around us are just that? Play and a story. And what if we don't hate anyone, no matter what they're doing, and choose for us what works for us, what makes us happy? If somebody is hurting us, physically, emotionally, spiritual, choose for you what works for you. But don't hold on to the negative emotions, because that's what kills your body, that's what kills your soul, that's what shrouds the soul and not allowing the magic to show up. I allow the forgiveness of, actually, let's look at the world right now. And what if instead of the anger about what's going on, anger about separation, no matter what your belief system about vaccine, not vaccine, about the separating the country, separating the races, let's all of us, every single one of us, chooses forgiveness and choice for each one of us. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. And it's time to go for our third break of the show. Wow, our show is almost at the end. So it's our third break of the show. You've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. When we return, we'll continue to talk more about how we can change the world by letting go of our points of view. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease on Inspired Choices Network. And today our show topic is how to be happy during the holidays. And in the first three parts of the show, we were talking about the tools of access consciousness, who does this belong to? Wow, I cannot even talk anymore. Who does this belong to? And we played with that tool to send it back with all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that not allowing us to enjoy the holidays, not to be happy during the holidays, not to have ease and magic that we are. And in the second and third part, we were talking about forgiveness, letting go of the shame, blame, regret, the guilt, the anger, the frustration of everything that other people did to us, we did it to others, and whatever we did to ourselves. Because a lot of those emotions, which is more like programming, are clouding our joy of holidays. A lot of times when we are with people that maybe hurt us in the past, and the funniest thing, they might not even remember that they hurt us. I had a conversation with a friend not too long ago. I felt very hurt. And it was like 5 years ago or 6 years ago. And she didn't even remember what it was. And I kind of like didn't remember, but there was the energy of unease there. So with forgiveness, and especially with allowing the forgiveness to cleanse us, to clear whatever is there, it's allowing us to be who we are. Because a lot of times people, 90% or 99% of the time when people hurt us, they don't do it intentionally. When they do it intentionally, run away. That's the easiest thing. But a lot of times it's totally unintentional. They say something and we are upset for weeks and they didn't even remember that they said it. So what if it's that simple? And especially that a lot of that shame, guilt, and a lot of those things, especially during holidays, might not be even ours, because we're like an antenna picking up other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotion. So if we have one upset, let's say we were upset about something, and then 20 people around us were upset about something, and we picked it up, that increases the upset. And it doesn't work. With everything that's going on in the world right now, how many people do you think are depressed because they cannot see loved ones because of the social isolation, especially if they're in a different country? How many people cannot connect, cannot hug for some reason? They lost loved ones because they died. Maybe they are sick. Maybe they got the COVID. Maybe they got something else. And the holidays are not what the dream holiday that they decided should be. Because we have an idea of how holidays supposed to be. We watch the movies. All those magical movies of holidays, how the family comes together and how family love each other and how they're support each other. How many families have you seen like that? Let's be realistic. So that's where forgiveness play a huge role. I'm going to do it one more time because our show is coming to the end. And I'm going to say forgiveness prayer, and then I'll talk about what's coming up. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced, that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me, by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. And as I said, we have only a few minutes left in the show. Just want to remind you that it's not the end. The podcast is every week on Wednesdays at 11 o'clock. Next week will be a show in Russian. We're looking for happiness, where to find it. And the following week we'll be back in English. There are also classes coming up. Starting Friday, there is going to be Foundation by Access Consciousness Foundation that I'm co-facilitating with Rachel Silber. There is also, I'm going to gift a symphony session. One will be coming in Russian on the 30th and probably on 29th or 31st. I haven't scheduled it. Just keep looking on the website. I'll gift a group taster of the symphony for the New Year holidays. There is going to be the last session of Russian Book Club, Bright Riches for You, as well as 5 days marathon of dealing with money, creating abundance with ease, telecalls. Body classes coming up in January in Chicago, in Taiwan in February, Ukraine, in Kiev. I'll be going live with foundation and a body class. Magic is everywhere. Abundance is everywhere. What if you can tap into the abundance and start creating magic and miracles in our lives with total ease? And you know what's the antidote to all the fears, all the thoughts, feelings, and emotion that's not creating joy and happiness is gratitude. What if we be grateful for everything that's in our lives and just keep asking for more? How does it get any better than that? Is another tool of access consciousness that we might be talking next week in show in Russian. Meanwhile, just look for the forgiveness prayer if you choose to say it. If not, that's fine too. Keep asking who does it belong to and return back to sender. Keep just being you. That's all is about us choosing more for us. Love you all, and we'll see you next week. And if you choose to be in a live audience, you can jump on a Zoom and you can jump in the chat room if you'd like to ask questions. Bye-bye.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.